Now, vlogging these days has massively changed from where it all started, and people are leveraging different formats in many different ways in 2025 to make the most of this sort of low edit type of content that you can quickly create. They're growing their brands and their channels quicker, and they're driving more engagement and connection with their audience. Vlogs are a fantastic way to humanize your brand and drive that connection in a much, much better way. So if you've got a business or a brand, then vlogs can be a really good way to make things more personal. And as things are getting more and more AI and there's a lot of fake content out of there, and trust online is generally lower than ever before, people are looking for connection. So vlogs are a great way to do this. So vlogging has become more of a style of content creation where it is the low edit, low effort type of content, but it's also more of an authentic human connection where we're letting some of our personal flaws come through. We're sharing some of our personal lives, and we're actually opening up more to drive that human element. So what I wanted to do in this video is go through some of the different formats and ways that I've discovered people are actually using these to grow their channels and their brands in 2025. So these are some great channels that I've come across that are all using slightly different formats, but they're all relatively low edit content. Some of the quality of them will be better than others. So some literally are the sort of just recording on your phone, very, very classic sort of vlog style. But all of these formats are different. So maybe one of these is going to be better for you and your business or your brand or your style or what you want to do moving forward. So the first sort of one that we all know is the cinematic storytelling. Now, these are more classic vlog style and they're a lot more higher productions. So I wanted to talk about this, but I don't really necessarily recommend this because your equipment and your ability to record is really going to be dependent on this. So people often do silent vlogs and they often do these very cinematic story documenting things in their life. So I think this is more of the classic style, but it still can work, but you have to do the higher level of production. So what most of us are doing and what most people are doing is they're vlogging with purpose. They're adding like a second layer. So they're vlogging their business, they're vlogging something that they're doing in real life, or they've mixed a topic with their personal life and also educating at the same time. So we have this second layer. So think of it like vlogging with purpose. And a great one of this in sort of bricks and mortar style businesses in real life are the lawnmower channels. You may have seen these. I love these. And this is where people are just recording themselves doing their job. This is also people, you've probably seen them, they're cleaning, they're basically cleaning driveways with pressure washing. They're cleaning carpets where they're cleaning really dirty carpets. And it's almost therapeutic watching them. So the way they do this is they can actually show off their skills and people can book them. They could teach people how to grow the businesses that they're actually doing, or they're just literally filming themselves to use the channel as a second layer to their business where they're generating additional income from people just enjoying watching the videos. So there's many different ways they can leverage that attention by just documenting what they're doing. So I think it's a great way to add additional income while just making very simple videos. So this guy, you may have seen some of them where they cut lawns for free or they do things for free so they can record it. That's normally because the people that can't necessarily pay are going to have the worst driveways, the worst gardens. So it's going to be a bigger evolution of results rather than someone just getting you to cut their lawn each and every week. So it's not going to be as dramatic. But they are literally documenting what they're doing. So if you've got any type of brick and mortar business, this is a great way to just document what you're doing. Then you've got the hobbyist type of channel. This guy here is basically, he's got his own workshop. He's talking about life. He's talking about his workshop and projects he's working on. And he's just literally bringing you inside all of the different things he's doing in his garage workshop. And this channel has been growing really well for him and it's kicking off. So any hobbyists, any passions or skills you've got, you just bring people into it. And sometimes he's literally just talking to the camera and it's really simple types of recordings. And then other times he's actually making something. This one I think is quite unique. I really like this. This guy coaches men after divorce, but it's the style that I want you to take away from it. He is basically recording videos while he's walking his dogs each day. So he will have some bullet points. He'll think about what he wants to talk about, the subject he wants to talk about. And then he records himself walking down the street. But he records himself, well, the street in the park normally, near a river. And he actually has a drone. And you don't need a drone for this. You could just record footage as you're walking silently. And he records with a drone above. So he's got some great shots of him walking, and the drone follows him. So it records him from behind and in front. But he's not talking normally in those shots. He normally then finds a quiet place by a river often, or on a bench, and then he talks. But then he uses the B-roll clips of him walking to overlap to make the video more interesting. So it's not just him talking to the camera and then that's it. So you get to see the dogs, you get to see some things that are happening while he's talking through the story. And then often it cuts back to him on the bench where he's just talking to the camera. So it's a mixture of B-roll and him talking to the camera, but he records the B-roll while he's walking to the place where he's going to talk. So it's a really easy way of killing two birds with one stone. He's walking his dogs, getting some exercise, and recording a video at the same time. So I absolutely love this. And his channel has exploded. You've then got the sort of screen recording style. This is great for online businesses where you want to demonstrate things. For example, I'm screen recording now. So by demonstrating things on the screen here, what he does is he's basically teaching AI. So he's then doing the sort of talking head with the small image in the corner, again, like this, basically. And he's then talking you through the different automations that he's doing. So then he promotes different products and training. So if you like those free trainings, you're more likely to buy the paid training. So it's great for online business because it's very congruent. So it's similar to the type of more polished educational content, but with vlogging, you just talk on a subject, you wing it, screen record, talk on bullet points like I am now, and it's much easier to just produce a video rather than writing long scripts and having to think of every point and every angle. You can produce more content and you can do it quicker. And you can just enjoy it like you're talking to a friend, trying to explain something to them. So that's why I love this style so much. We've then got the educational talking head style. And this girl, she's doing fantastically. She's doing really, really well. She's doing extremely, I really love the way she talks and the way she explains things. So she is gifted in that sense. But I know for a fact that she just talks to slides. So she's got some slides in Canva in front of her on a computer and then the camera on the other side. So you could have your phone set up there. You could have your slides or something on something in front of you, and you could just be talking to those points. So she'll glance down occasionally, but then she'll also maybe use those graphics in the video afterwards as B-roll. So B-roll is, again, the clips that you use while you're still talking to add visuals to what you're talking about. So she'll create the slides a bit like a webinar presentation. When you're doing a presentation, you have slides. So she's done that for her videos. So she's still not following a script, so it still feels natural. She's touching her face. She's maybe holding a pen sometimes like I currently am right now. And it feels quite natural, like a conversation. So that's where she does this really, really well, but she's using slides. So I think that's a great, simple way, talking head videos. I think she's sitting in front of a sofa or even on her sofa, and that's it. So really minimalist equipment in her apartment, nice and easy. She's starting to get more professional, so she does have an editor where she's adding some graphics now, but I don't think that's necessary. You could just use your slides and then also your talking head, and that's it. On a quick side note, if you would like more training on growing your brand with vlogging, then I will put a link to my free startup guide in the video description. We then got the expat, which is a sort of more classic travel vlog, but he's done a twist on it where he's literally just an expat in one city in Cambodia, which is Siem Reap, and he's becoming the expert in everything here. So he's talking to you about the visas. He's showing you different apartments for different prices. He's talking to you about the expat lifestyle. He's talking about starting businesses. He's talking about everything in that city as an expat. And because most people, they visit Cambodia and they visit Siem Reap and they speak to the area while they're visiting, but then move on to the next country, they don't become experts at that. So what he could potentially do is build a business around that, because people are then going to want to leverage his authority. They're going to ask him, maybe he could start to do services for real estate, for visas, or coaching on how to move there and the things that you need to know. So he has the opportunity then, because he's gone very niche and specialist, which is what I really recommend if you're starting a business, then he's really drilled down into that. So this is a good way of doing the classic. He's doing some walking around. He's doing some talking in his apartment where he's sitting down. So he also does the sort of sitting and talking and then adding B-roll. So he's not always having to walk and talk, but then sometimes he's sitting in a cafe and he's just talking on a topic. So it's kind of a mixture of different things that he's doing, but always about the city. And then you've got the more classic food ones. This is a street food one. I really like these street food ones where people take you around all the different ones. There's a guy called Gary, the roaming cook, he does Thailand and surrounding areas. And all he does, especially in Bangkok, is go to all the street food places. So you could just go around talking about different street food. So it's a good one, a bit more classic vlog style here. But then they do guides. So if you then go to Bangkok and you want the street food guide, rather than watching every single video, which is maybe 40 minutes long for some of these guys, you could then just load their guide. And then when you're in Bangkok, you're in that particular place, you then just go and visit the recommended places based on the dishes that you want to try. And then someone's done the work for you. So it's a great way to create videos and monetize. It's not going to make him potentially massive money, but it will make him a good income. You've then got this guy, Dry Creek Wrangler, which is the grandpa method, which I love. I basically started calling this the grandpa method after I saw him and other people starting to do it. And it's where you're just sitting and having a conversation on a particular topic. So it's still a mashup of education. So he's talking about men's issues, things like hustle culture. So as an older man and a cowboy, he basically still talks about wrangling horses and training people on that. But it's mainly about the conversations that he's having while he's having a cigar and sitting there chatting. So this is just sort of life lessons, but you're still talking on a particular topic. So it's life lessons, but mainly for young men. And he's just sitting there talking. So you could just literally sit somewhere with an interesting background and make it feel informal. So you could have a coffee, be having a coffee cup or something like that, and you're just chatting like you're having a morning coffee with people, and it's quite relaxed. So that's the vibe that you get from this guy. So I really love this laid back sort of grandpa way it rambles and uses stories and comes back. But he still talks to a particular point. So it's not just absolute rambling. And then you've got this guy. This guy's doing very, very well. And for the video quality, I think it's exceptional. So this guy here is literally in his car. So recording in your car is a great format because it's soundproofed. The lighting is going to be good. And you maybe already have the connections to put your camera on for when you've got the GPS and Google Maps going. So you could just put your camera on, record yourself. And what he does is he talks about the economy. And he's got, I think the channel's called The Uneducated Economist. And he's just talking about things he's learnt about the economy based on his angle. I think he works in lumber. So he kind of associates things with that. But he's also really interested in the economy. And he just sits in the car park of where he works on his coffee break, records a video and uploads it. And he probably doesn't even need to work anymore. So I don't even know if he still is. But he's still recording in his car with the same phone by the looks of it. Nothing's really changed much. But he's getting about 500,000 to 600,000 monthly views. And on the economy in the US, that's going to be high CPM. So I don't know if he's monetizing in different ways. I haven't looked into that, but he could probably sell some products or create a community around that as well. Because the economy, there's plenty of finance products people might buy from him, depending on the advice that he's actually giving. And then you've got food shopping. Now, this is more of a classic vlog one, so it's less about growing a brand and more about the actual thing that you're doing. But you could tie this into maybe you like cooking and you're doing something to do with cooking, or some element of what you're doing for your business requires shopping. People love seeing inside supermarkets. So that part, there's literally people that just watch people shopping in Costco, and sometimes it's to find out the latest deals. Sometimes it's to find out what you can buy, and then people are cooking afterwards from what they buy. But there's huge demand, which I've always thought is really weird, for people shopping in Costco and all of these big sort of mega mart level things where you can just buy in bulk. So people love these and love being shown around stores. So I guess it's kind of virtual reality. So you feel like you're shopping from home. Anyways, I thought I'd throw that one in there because I really like that. And then you've got the news style, which are going to be a bit talking head again, but you can talk about topical things. So obviously opinion-based channels where you are just talking on particular points each day. This makes it very easy to create daily content if you want, because as long as you've got your finger on the pulse, you are literally a type of news channel, but it could be news within any niche. So AI is obviously being a great one, and he started when it was starting to trend. So he's been going for at least a year or two now, and he's grown a big channel, and he's one of the probably top three. I think there's another guy that's maybe a bit bigger than him, but doing very, very well. Uploads a video almost every day and just talking head and just giving you news drops. So new AI updates. And there's lots of people that just want to stay in the loop. So they just want someone else to do the research and just update me each day. So you could create those talking head style news channels anywhere. You could be sitting in the car or whatever else. So there's so many different formats that you could do here to grow your brand. It's similar to other types of education and information channels on YouTube, but it's more about the connection and you talking to your audience like they're a friend, you connecting with them, and this more relaxed, authentic style of content. And it's just much easier because you can do one take recordings. You can just wing it and have a few bullet points in front of you, and it makes things much, much easier. So with that said, if you would like more help growing your channel and your brand with vlogging, then I will put a link in the video description to my free vlogging startup guide. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.